We're going to talk just a little bit about daily chinchilla care and how to take care of Pip. So Pip's our classroom chinchilla here, and he really enjoys interacting with students when they're here. He is the most active kind of very early in the morning, and then kind of in the evening time. He really likes to take a nap from about 10 o'clock until probably about 3 or so, and he's going to start to get a little more active here in a while. So we're going to go over daily care. So if I was not at school, what would the students do to take care of him? Or in this case, the students are not at school. What do I do to take care of him? Say hello, buddy. So you'll see Pip's habitat here. He's just got kind of our basic cage setup. He's got 2 levels of shelves with the ramp kind of connecting those two. He's got the exercise wheel. Clearly, he's going to demonstrate here. He's got inside of his cage, we've got his food bowl, which he tends to kind of make a mess in. In this case, we've got a chunk of twine tied up for him to play with and kind of gnaw on a little bit. We've got a little plastic ball in there for him to play with. He's got some cloth that he can be able to interact with a little bit, just some fleecy cloth. A lot of times we'll have it hanging on the side of the cage there for him to be able to do stuff with. Over on this side of the cage, we've got his container for his hay. And then here we've got his water bottle. And so just a daily care would be making sure that he's got enough water, making sure the water looks fresh. So if there's less than a couple ounces in here, this is an 8-ounce container, we want to make sure that we refill it. We want to make sure we clean it every couple days or so to make sure the water is fresh. We want to make sure that he has plenty of hay in his hay container here. We want to shove it down so that he can reach all of it, but make sure it's not pushed in too tight he can't pull it through. We want to make sure he's getting fed. He gets fed right now in the morning time. Make sure his shavings or whatever happens to be in the bottom of his crate, some people will use a shredded paper product or fleecy lined products, gets cleaned out. In this case, we're going to show you how to clean out the shavings, and not clean out the shavings because we only do that about once a week or twice a week depending on how dirty he gets. But today's just kind of daily care. So on a daily basis, first and foremost, we're checking the water, making sure that that's good. In this case, he's got 4 ounces of water, so that will get him through a solid day. Like I said, if it's less than about that, we need to fill it. Filling the hay container. So over here is Pip's box of goodies here. You'll see we have a bag with some shaving in, his roller ball, and then everything else he needs is kind of in this container. So here's going on a little exercise. Here we've got his box with his dust in for when he needs a dust bath. He gets dust baths every couple days to about once a week, depending on how humid it is and how dirty he's gotten. In this case, we're kind of approaching winter time. It's pretty dry in the room. We've been giving him a bath about every 5 to 7 days. He's got a little bag of Cheerios as treats. So if you come to interact with the chinchilla, you're free to give him a treat. Basically, you hold it out for him, he'll take it and sit there and eat it just like it's the best thing ever. Who doesn't love Cheerios, right? In here we have some more dust. This is just volcanic dust that we use to get him clean. We've got a couple different bags of hay. This bag is actually pea greens. We raised some peas here in the classroom and then kind of dried out some of the greenery for him to be able to eat. And then we've got his bag of feed in here as well. So when we go to feed him, chinchillas only need 1 to 2 tablespoons of feed per day, which would kind of fit right in the palm size of my hand. There is also a tablespoon in there if we were to need it. Before we feed him, we're going to make sure that his bowl is cleaned out good. We're going to drop the feed right inside the bowl, and he's able to eat it that way. We want to make sure that he's got plenty of hay in his hay box. So we're going to go ahead and grab some hay out of the bag and make sure that's good and full. It's packed in there just enough so that the whole entire thing is filled. We can give him a little pea green. It's kind of an extra treat here. And we're actually going to leave that up on the top shelf for him to come munch on later. If there's too much pellets on the top shelf, which is not terrible right now, we would go ahead and brush that off also. but since it's not too bad and his cage is getting cleaned out here later, we're not going to worry about it. He's also got a wood block for him to chew on a little bit. We'll kind of set that up there for him. The middle shelf is pretty dirty, so we're going to go ahead and get that cleaned off here also. The easiest way, we're going to pack his box of stuff back up here. The easiest way to clean off the shelf, if you don't want to stick your hands in there, you don't want to get your hands dirty at all, would just be to kind of unclip it right here. And then tip it over. Shake it off a little bit so we get all the pellets off. And then we're going to clip it back here. And now his shelves are a little bit cleaner for him. So he has been given hay. We make sure he has plenty of water. We feed him. Make sure there's nothing hazardous in there. Make sure the wheel is attached. We give him a little extra treat. And we always make sure the cage gets closed behind us. If we were to need to water him, to take the water off, basically, you can either slide the spring up or you can disconnect it here like this. Either way, I typically just slide it up because it's pretty quick. Grab the water bottle, keep it from spilling out. We would just unscrew the cover. When we're done refilling it and rinsing it, we're going to screw it back on. We're going to stick the end of the water bottle through here. Make sure that it's high or low enough that he can reach it and not too high where we can't get it connected again. I went a little bit too high, so we're going to go down a little bit more. Get that back on there, and then when we're done, we're going to spray down the table and wipe it off, and then make sure that we throw that in the trash can. And that's kind of the day-to-day care of what we need to do for Pip.